Oklahoma State fan, what is your ranking?
Well, we rank no.
It doesn't matter what your ranking is. You see, you went at the Sooner Savage. And you tried to tell the Sooner Savage that you deserved a higher ranking. But your win against Pittsburgh means diddly squat to the Sooner Savage. So come Saturday at 3 o'clock on FS1, it's gonna be time for the Sooner Savage to eat. Oh yeah. Can you smell what the Sooner Savage is cooking? We're going to talk about the college football playoff and how they finally treated OU the way OU should always be treated. We're going to talk about recruiting and one offensive lineman who's planning to announce later this month. We're going to talk about how OU's defense stacks up against Oklahoma State's offense. And we're also going to talk about how Baker Mayfield is awesome, but also the only time Baker Mayfield would ever say that it's okay to not like Baker Mayfield. And all of that's coming up after the bumper. If you're new to my channel or this is your first time here, remember to hit that like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. Alright, bumper.
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
So you might notice, like I noticed, that for the first time in an extremely long time, some college football ranking committee did right by us. I'm looking at you, AP voters. I don't know how you made OU number 8 and ranked Ohio State ahead of OU, but your recency bias is really getting on our nerves. However, the college football playoff did us a solid, ranking us 5th ahead of Ohio State. But then again, it lost its mind when it ranked Clemson at number 4 after they lost to Syracuse.
Lost to Syracuse.
Bro, you can't lose to an unranked Syracuse that's trash and be the number 4 team in the country. Especially when our loss is to Iowa State, who turns out to be not as bad as I thought they were. In fact, they're the number 15 team in the country according to the committee. And they have 2 top 5 scalps in 1 month of football. Iowa State ain't no punks, y'all. So college football playoff committee, get it together. I don't know what it is. Are y'all even looking at your own rankings? Come on, man, stop playing. Meanwhile, the committee has made Oklahoma State number 11 in the country, which for my money is too high a ranking. I mean, who is Oklahoma State's marquee win? Pittsburgh? Come on. Pittsburgh? Iowa State would drop 40 on Pittsburgh and win by 3 touchdowns. Stop playing with that ranking, college football playoff committee. But as it is, fine. Number 5 versus number 11. Bedlam in Stillwater at 3 p.m. on FS1. And this is going to be the earliest Bedlam game since October 2004. I don't know what the reason is for playing a game in October in 2004, but I'm sure it was a good one. And I'll take an earlier Bedlam if it means that we get a Big 12 conference championship. Because honestly, it's been this conference championship that's been holding us back from being in the CFP on a regular basis as a conference. So I'm glad to see it back in vogue. But it's very hard for me to call this a rivalry game. I mean, it's nice to call it a rivalry game. It's got a nice ring to it, but it's not Ohio State, Michigan, and it's not West Virginia, Pittsburgh, and it's not Oregon, Oregon State, and it's certainly not OU, Texas. It's Oklahoma State versus Oklahoma. And if you looked at the series standings, it's 86 wins to Oklahoma, just 18 wins to Oklahoma State, and 7 ties. And not just that, but Oklahoma's 14-1 when both teams are ranked, and 12-0 when ranked ahead of Oklahoma State, to say nothing of how Oklahoma's 10-2 against the Mullet. So miss me with this rivalry stuff. Also, did you know that Oklahoma State fans don't expect to win this game? I read an article on ESPN, which I'll link in the comments below, where Kyle Porter, who's a friend of mine and wants the Pistol Flyer in his blog, said that these games where Bedlam matters give Oklahoma State fans zero confidence because they're not expected to win them. Because they don't win them. But they do have an offense that can go, specifically against the 3-man front that Mike Stoops is intent on running. If you didn't see my video earlier this week just deconstructing and dismantling Mike Stoops' 3-man front, I'm going to put a link to it up above. But what it comes down to is West Virginia runs a 3-3-5 base. And rather than try to throw the ball over the yard, Mike Yurcich ain't no punk. So Mike Yurcich planned to run the ball against that 3-man front. And to show his commitment to winning football games and not passing the ball, when Justice Hill went down as a running back, he thought nothing of handing the ball off 36 times to J.D. King for 142 yards. Which to me says, if you're gonna give them the space, they're gonna take it every single time. So if Mike doesn't come out with a 4-man front, I'm gonna call for him to be fired again. Just as I've been calling for him to be fired all season. Because this is ridiculous. To say nothing of Oklahoma State's defense. So to answer that question to Oklahoma State fans about are they cursed in Bedlam, the answer is
yes!
Meanwhile, in a very good profile of Baker Mayfield on Bleacher Report by Matt Hayes, we figured out that Baker Mayfield wouldn't like Baker Mayfield if Baker Mayfield was at another program playing for another team. But since he's not, it's fine. Also on that same article, Lincoln Riley said that that chip on Baker Mayfield's shoulder, it's not for show. It's real. And I can certainly understand why it's real. Baker Mayfield was skipped over in high school, had to walk on at Texas Tech, earn the starting job, had to walk on at Oklahoma, earn the starting job. Then all he's done has been a Heisman finalist for 3 straight years, and it is a very good spot to win the Heisman this year, and leads a top 5 football team. Chippy, I'll take it. In that same article, Matt Hayes talked about Baker Mayfield being arrested this summer in Fayetteville. Now, we know the story about him being arrested, but what we didn't know was Barry Switzer was once arrested in 1959 and thrown in the same jail. And while he really wanted to tell Baker to keep his head up, what he wanted to ask him is if they'd made the place look a little better. He remembers it being a bad word place. I love Barry Switzer. Barry Switzer's the king. Long live the king. Also, brief recruiting update. So in an article I read on 24/7, which again I'll link in the comments below, we found that OU hosted 17 official visitors to Texas Tech. Of those visitors, we got hints from Lincoln Riley. At least 3 of them were committed. One of them came out publicly. You probably know that's Ronnie Perkins, who plays weak side defensive end. You know that position that Oboe plays? And it seems like there could be more on the docket. Reuben Unite is scheduled to announce on November 19th, and if you believe the reporters, and I do, OU is also in position to flip a Texas commit and a Texas A&M commit. Both linebackers, both Army All-American. The Texas A&M commit's name is Deshaun White. The Longhorn commit's name I will butcher, so I'll just put it into the, description below. I'm not gonna do you like that, bro. But lastly, I just want to drive home that if you're thinking that I go hard on Mike Stoops, pay attention this weekend. And if we get styled on because he's running 3-man front, remember I told you we would. Now I'm gonna give you my prediction. I'm gonna go 45-31 Sooners for the 87th win in the Bedlam series. With that 87th win, OU would have more wins against Oklahoma State than any other team has against any other team except Nebraska, who has 86 wins against Iowa State and 91 wins against Kansas. Oklahoma State booty is OU's booty. That's a prison analogy. All right, that's it for me. If you like the videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you participated in the live stream and you saw my first live stream fail, just know that the moral of the story is if you do not pay for overusing your data and internet, Cox will make you pay by disrupting your live stream. All right, deuces.